Hello, it's Peter Wright and Kathleen Beauvais with the first episode under the new branding of Health Declassified. We hope you enjoy our new artwork, our new colors, and our new format. First, let's welcome Kathleen Beauvais. Hi, Kathleen. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Peter. Thank you. And thank you also very much for tuning in today. We so appreciate having you.
hmm And this is our weekly wrap up for the week ending 18th of April 2025. We're supposed to be spring. We're still waiting for it to come to our part of the world.
True.
Kathleen, you want to go straight into your deep dive, and it's figuratively and literally a deep dive this morning, isn't it?
It sure is, Peter. And I don't know if you've ever heard about this, but have you heard about cold plunges?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to talk about the surprising side effects of cold plunges. And we are going to put a link to the full article below this video so you can read it in its entirety. Basically, what the highlights of this article is that there's a new study that suggests that cold plunging can literally impact you on a cellular level, triggering your cells to start a process called autophagy that can have total body benefits. Okay, so in fact, doctors swear this cellular impact could help support your overall health and longevity. So autophagy specifically helps clear out damaged proteins that are a precursor to several chronic conditions. So the study, which was published in the journal Advanced Biology, had 10 healthy young men do a cold plunge for an hour every day for a week straight. Can you imagine an hour? But anyway,
Did you say an hour?
I said an hour. I said an hour. I
Wow.
can't imagine
Wow,
it,
wow,
but
wow, wow.
let me go on here. So the researchers collected blood samples before and after the plunges to look at how the participants' cells responded to the cold plunges. And what they found is that in as little as 4 days, cold water plunges can reduce cellular stress and increase a cellular protective mechanism called autophagy. So, one expert, this Dr. Kelly King, said this mechanism helps remove damaged proteins and organelles in the body and is critical during stressful conditions such as a cold exposure to facilitate cell survival. So, how does it work exactly? So, they say exposure to cold is what's known to doctors as a hormetic stressor
Mhm.
and is actually good for you in moderation, as it helps your body build resilience and greater tolerance to stress. So, basically, cold plunges helps to train the body to adapt and survive. So, cold plunges can help reduce inflammation, accelerate muscle recovery, and ease joint pain, key for athletic performance and post-surgical rehab. They can also trigger endorphin release, improving mood and stress resilience. So, what counts as a cold plunge? So, most research into cold plunges focuses on temperatures between 50 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. For beginners, it can be good to start with about 30 seconds to a minute of exposure to the water. And once you've done it more often, you can work up to 5 or even 10 minutes at a time. But in this particular study, as I mentioned, the participants did a 60-minute cold plunge, but they say you don't need to stay in for that long to reap some of the established brain and anti-inflammatory benefits. So there you go.
Wow.
And
Isn't that amazing?
what I sometimes do, Peter, and I don't know if you ever done this, but once you are in the shower, you gently, turn the hot water to cold and try to stay under the cold water for a minute or two. And I think that probably acts as a bit of a cold plunge too.
I guess it would. I guess it would. Well, I don't because I had a fairly unexciting experience of cold plunges or cold showers when I was doing my military training way back in a long time ago. I did it in winter in Bulawayo in Rhodesia, which doesn't get anywhere near as cold as Canada, but it gets down to just above freezing. And in our barracks, we had no hot water in the bathroom, so we had to shower and shave in cold water,
Mm.
and that stuck in my mind. So now I rather enjoy warm showers. A word of caution for someone who wants to try cold plunges. As Kathleen said, you need to start off with a very short duration immersion in cold water, because I saw way back in the Drakensberg Mountains in South Africa. I was on a conference and we went for a walk and we went to swim in a pool below a waterfall in winter when that water was probably 10 degrees Celsius. So what's that, about 40 Fahrenheit? And this girl went in, young woman, 20 odd, went in, went under the water and didn't come up. And we got her out, and her heart had stopped from the shock of the cold water. So, just a word of caution: it
Yeah.
is very, very beneficial. As of course the Scandinavians, they have their saunas, and then they go and jump in a cold lake, right? And quite often in midwinter, there's something on the news in Canada. I think he's in Toronto. There's an oldish guy who swims every day of the year, right? And he goes, breaks the ice to get into water right through winter. And there's groups in England I've seen as well that swim every day of the year. Anyway, so just a word of caution, but it is obviously beneficial.
Right.
I didn't pick up anything on the human health side this week, Kathleen, but I've been watching a fascinating program called Supervet, which is Professor, I think it's Noel Fitzpatrick from Surrey, England. Although he's Irish, he has a huge veterinary practice with over 30 vets, staff of 170, and they operate on 1,500 dogs and cats a month, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and he's referral only. So they only get cases that other vets cannot fix. And they do hip replacements, ankle replacements, elbow replacements, spinal fusions, spinal implants. And what they do in this practice is unbelievable. As far as I know, they are doing things there that are not carried out on humans anywhere in the world. They are inserting prosthetic feet or limbs into the bone, the remaining bone of a dog or cat's leg, and they have a system where the skin fuses onto the prosthesis so there's no infection, and these animals walk like they have got four normal legs. Unbelievable.
Wow.
So anyone interested in that, it's called Supervet. We get it on Acorn, but they have a very good website called supervet.com, I think, or .co.uk, one of the two, and you can read more about it there. Anyway, that's enough from me. Kathleen, you've
Are
got
they
a
on Prime?
recommendation. Are they what, sorry?
Are they also on Prime?
They are on Prime. Sorry, I'm wrong. They're not on Acorn. They're on Prime. Yes, you're right. I get confused. Those are the two channels that I use mainly. I don't watch broadcast TV. So Kathleen has corrected me. They are on Amazon Prime TV. Thank you, Kathleen.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Peter. That was really interesting. And I just want to give a little plug for our Dr. Morse product of the week. Again, the GI Broom, Peter. It's a fabulous product. It's a powerful herbal laxative, but it's one that your body does not become dependent on as
Hmm.
regular laxatives that you'd find over the counter at the drugstore. It's also a lymphatic puller. It functions to promote the removal of buildup or sludge in the intestinal wall. And it stimulates the flow of interstitial fluid from the gut lining into the lymphatic circulation. So it's a wonderful product, beautiful, beautiful ingredients in it. And yeah, fabulous. And if you're in the middle of a detox or a full body cleanse, this is essential because you need to clean out your
Excellent.
body. And that's it from me,
There
Peter.
will be, well, thank you, Kathleen. There'll be a link to that. And if you use code Yakking Show, you will get a discount. All details will be in the description under this video or on the audio, whatever you are watching or listening to this on, and will be in our newsletter. And talking about our newsletter, two things of importance. This will be the last time you get the newsletter coming from Peter at theyakkingshow.com. From next week onwards, they will be coming from Peter and Kathleen at healthdeclassified.com. So watch out for those. Make sure they don't go into your spam folder. The other point about newsletter is, or about it, what we do. Last week we did an episode on the dangers of fentanyl and how addiction to fentanyl is killing thousands of people in North America. Our whole criticism was aimed at the illegal fentanyl that's bought on the street. We were not at all criticizing, condemning, or casting aspersions on anyone who needs to use fentanyl or any other opioid painkiller for medical reasons. We realize some people are dependent on it to manage their pain, and it's a very important drug for those people. I myself have had to resort to painkillers a couple of times after horse accidents and after surgery, so I don't knock anyone who uses painkillers. We just wanted to make that distinction. We're horrified at what it's doing on the street, but we recognize it's a valuable drug. Kathleen, do you want to add to that?
No, I concur, Peter. I think we certainly didn't want to upset any of our viewers. We simply wanted to bring it to people's attention how the problem. It is a horrible problem in North America specifically, and throughout the world, but certainly it is here in Canada, and it needs to be addressed.
Sure. Good. We got that one done. So let's tell you what's been happening on the show this week. Well, on Tuesday, we published an episode with Dr. Carol Rems, who talks about the best sex ever after menopause. And she's a real Wonder Woman, this one. She's even, I give it away, she feels quite happy to say that she's older than I am, but she's done a lot of research into this, and she has a whole lot of ideas to help women who've going through perimenopause or menopause or gone through to have better sex lives and better enjoyment of life in general. She's quite a powerhouse. I was really interested in her one. That was on this week. Then coming up in 2 weeks' time, on the 29th of April, will be Caroline Farquhar. Sorry, let me get that right. Caroline Farquhar. And she talks about supplements, and she has 5 supplements she believes are essential that we should all be taking. And you need to watch that episode or listen to it to find out what those 5 supplements are. And then on the 13th of May, we'll have Ethan Pompeo, who has his own company producing CBD products. And his story as to how he came to start this company and develop these products is quite interesting from his own personal side. But again, you're going to have to listen to or watch that episode to find out all about it. And then, of course, we've got to talk about our book of the week. And obviously, our guest this week has a book, so we're going to be promoting hers. And it's Dr. Carol Rems's book, and it's called Best Sex Ever After Menopause. And there'll be a link to that book in the description below here and on our newsletter and on our website. And Kathleen, I do believe that is it from me. Just a reminder, watch out for emails coming from a different email address, and I hope you like our new colors and our new design. So over to you, Kathleen.
Thank you so much for tuning in again this week. And until next time, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.